Hi everyone, Dr. Orna here. Hopefully you are now convinced, if you were not already convinced, that being able to positively identify plants is a joyous and useful activity, useful thing to know. So in this video, I want to give you some tools to be able to do that effectively. So books for botanizing. First book that I'm going to recommend, Botany in a Day. This book goes through the different parts of a plant that you can see, specifically the flowers, and gives you the tools to differentiate among different flowers, to be able to distinguish between them. And then it puts together different plant characteristics that you can observe yourself in the field, airplane, and organizes them into plant families. So you can use this book to start recognizing plants that tend to be related to each other. This is really useful, even though botany as a discipline is moving away from field characteristics and more toward DNA, which obviously you can't see if you're out and about. But using tools like this and the other ones that I'm going to describe to you right now, you can get to a good identification of the plant. And if you need an absolute positive ID with current family and all of that, you can use these tools and then just put in online and say, oh, it's not in the Liliaceae family, it's now Asparagiaceae, and whatever. You know, you can still find what the plant is. Very useful. Okay, so then there are two, so that is a basic book for learning to look at plants and identify them. So then there are two other kinds of books for the next level. One of the most common that most people have, or more likely to have, is a field guide. So these are related to the particular region that you're in. This is one of the most commonly available ones from my bioregion, the Pacific Northwest. And these show pictures of the plant and descriptions of the plant, and usually they're organized by the color of the flower and sometimes by the plant families. So if you can get to the plant family, or if you have a good read on the flower, you can go through a book like this, look at the pictures, and say, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I've got. I don't use this for absolute positive ID. I use this more for, oh, that's a pretty flower, I wonder what it is. And it's like, well, it kind of looks like that. Maybe it is that, maybe it's not. And then I use one of these other books to get a positive ID if I really need one, which I would do because I was curious, or because I was making medicine, or because I wanted to geek out with my friends and figure it out. So the next kind of book is called Dichomous Key. So the idea, and I'm going to do another video about this and how it works, but the idea is that there are a series of questions, this or this, and depending which way you go, it takes you down a rabbit hole until you get to the plant itself. So I brought all of these books out to the park in my pack today. They're heavy, and I brought them all because I was excited to show you, and also because weight bearing exercise is good. So this is actually the old version of the Hitchcock and Cronquist Flora of the Pacific Northwest. So this is the Dichomous Key for my region. There is a newer version of that, which is on my shelf, but I haven't like taken it out into the woods yet. Whereas this one, you know, I've been using it for years. So what it looks like is, you'll see little pictures of the plants, and there are a series of questions, and it's this or this, and then you go to the next one based on which answer you chose. And then at the end, it will give short descriptions of each particular species. So this is for here, and these exist for, I don't know if they exist for every place, but they exist for many places. And so I just wanted, having lugged them out here, I just want to show you a couple of others. This is the small version of the Jepson manual, which is the same as the one that I just showed you, but for California. And it's big. This is just for the desert. So you can see it's a pretty nice fat book. This is one that's a soft cover. The full Jepson is really big and I didn't have room in my bag for it. But so if the last time I went to the desert, I didn't bring this with me, and I so regretted it because I wanted to geek and I didn't have the tools. And then, this is one of 2 floras for Alaska. Y'all know how much I love Alaska. This is the Hulten, and it has maps. They usually have maps that show distribution of the plants, and it's super fun to look through these and try to figure out what you've got. Then something a little more portable is there are these little books. This one is the Pacific Coast Tree Finder. So this is another Dichomous Key, specifically looking at trees. And this is a pretty simple thing, and you can see it's really small, easily fits in a pocket. And then there's another tool, which is more of a field guide, which is an app. And actually it's what I end up carrying with me most because it's on my phone, which I'm using to take pictures and make videos. So I kind of always have it with me anyway. And I will put a link in the comments to this, but it's basic, what's it called? Oregon Wildflowers. And if you just search in the App Store, it's called Oregon Wildflowers. And you can search by characteristics, you can search by name, you can scroll through the pictures. It doesn't have a ton of information. I wouldn't say it's really a replacement for any of these if you really want to dig in, but just as something to have as an easy, quick reference, it's kind of a nice thing. And I do use it a lot. I think it's the most expensive app I've ever bought, and it was like $8 or $9. So I recommend that. So hopefully you now have some tools and are excited to maybe add some books to your collection if you don't have them, or maybe you're inspired to go out in the woods and play with them. Right now, this is about what we've got because it's winter. So looking at trees and especially the conifers, and I'm gonna go through this in a little bit to show you how a dichotomous key works. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, tag, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.